Hi everyone, this is Coach Busy. I wanted to stop by and say hi, and also, as you know, AI is here to completely disrupt our lives. And I would like to share a deep dive by two of my AI friends. I call them Rachel and John from Google Notebook LM, and they are going to do a deep dive into an article I wrote for Forbes about how to become a cybersecurity professional. This is especially for the hundreds of people who've reached out to me on this wonderful platform, LinkedIn, asking about how to become a part of this exciting cybersecurity field. I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
All right, listener, ready to dive into the world of cybersecurity?
Always ready for a deep dive, especially on a topic this hot.
Today, we're taking a good hard look at this Forbes.com article by Fabien Zinga, bigwig in the information security world, and a U.S. Navy Reserve commander, no less.
Talk about credentials, right?
The guy clearly knows his stuff.
Exactly, and he doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, he hits you with this fact that the industry needs 4 million more cybersecurity pros.
4 million.
Seriously, no joke. It's a crazy talent gap, which honestly is great news for anyone thinking about jumping in.
Talk about a job seeker's market.
Yeah.
But okay, before we get into how to actually, become one of those pros, I thought it was really interesting how Zinga got into cybersecurity himself.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a straight line, was it?
No, not at all. He kind of fell into it while he was studying for a Microsoft certification, of all things.
Which, side note, is a good reminder that you never know where those certs will lead.
So true. And then, of course, he ends up in the Navy, which,
Yeah.
well, we know cybersecurity is huge GE in the military.
It really highlights that there are so many paths into this field, you know. You don't have to have majored in computer science at 18 to make a career out of it.
Totally. So if you're listening and thinking, okay, I'm intrigued, but how do I actually make this happen? Zinga gives us a pretty solid roadmap. He boils it down to 3 main things: experience, education, and certifications.
And he's not afraid to tell it like it is, even if it ruffles some feathers. He's straight up saying experience trumps degrees in cybersecurity.
He does. He's all about that real-world know-how. Your practical skills are going to take you further than that fancy piece of paper, at least at the start.
That's so key for people to hear, especially if they're worried about not having a tech background.
100%.
Cool.
Your past experience, even if it's not directly in tech, can be incredibly valuable.
It's all about showcasing those transferable skills, problem solving, critical thinking, that sort of thing.
So let's break down this whole experience thing. Zinga talks about getting in the trenches, which, yeah, might mean starting at the bottom rung, maybe even an internship.
He's big on getting your hands dirty, really understanding how things work from the ground up.
Right, like real-world experience over textbook knowledge any day.
Totally. And he had this really interesting point about working for a security consultancy.
Oh yeah, he's a big advocate for that.
He says it's like cramming 3 years of experience into one, just because you're exposed to so many different companies and industries.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not just stuck in one company's bubble.
Exactly. You're constantly thrown into new environments, facing different challenges, learning to adapt on the fly. It's like boot camp, but for cybersecurity.
Love it. Cybersecurity boot camp. Sign me up. But okay, so let's say you've gotten your hands dirty. You've got some experience under your belt. What about education? Zinga doesn't total discount it, right?
Oh, definitely not. He's clear that a STEM degree, especially if you're gunning for those leadership positions, is super valuable.
So it's not just about being a code monkey. You got to have the bigger picture understanding as well.
Right. But what I found interesting was his take on master's degrees. He suggests that if you already have a degree, like a bachelor's in, say, business, going for a master's in cybersecurity might be a smarter move than getting another bachelor's.
That's really interesting, almost like a way to bridge that gap between the business world and the tech world.
Totally. And it plays into his next point about employer-provided tuition assistance. If your company offers it, take it.
Yeah, he's all about maximizing those opportunities.
It shows initiative, a willingness to learn, which, let's be real, goes a long way with employers. They eat that stuff up.
It's like you're telling them, hey, I'm invested in my future here.
Exactly. And in a field that's constantly evolving, you got to be a lifelong learner.
Okay, so we've covered experience, education.
Mm-hmm.
What about certifications? Zinga's a big fan of the CompTIA Security, right?
Right.
Especially for beginners.
It's a great starting point. It covers all the essentials, gives you a solid foundation. Think of it as your cybersecurity passport.
I like that. Your passport to enter the world of cybersecurity.
Right. And it's globally recognized, so you can take those skills with you wherever you go.
Now, Zinga does say that as you climb the ladder, experience starts to matter more than certs. But T, there's one big exception, the CISSP.
Ah, yes, the holy grail of cybersecurity certifications.
It's like the heavyweight championship belt of the cybersecurity world.
Exactly. If you're serious about reaching those top leadership roles, especially in government, the CISSP is the gold standard.
It shows you're not just tech savvy, but you also deeply understand things like security architecture and risk management. Like you're playing chess, not checkers, with cyber threats.
Exactly. It's next level stuff. So yeah, experience, education, certifications, those are the pillars. But Zynga drops one more truth bomb that I think is so important, and it often gets overlooked.
Hit me with it. What's the secret sauce? Soft skills.
Bingo.
It's so easy to get caught up in the technical stuff, the firewalls, the code.
Right, but cybersecurity isn't just about talking to computers all day.
Exactly. You've got to be able to work with people, explain things clearly, get buy-in from leadership.
It's about being a communicator, a collaborator, even a bit of a salesperson sometimes. Huh?
So true. You got to sell those security measures. And that's where those soft skills like communication, leadership, even emotional intelligence come in.
Being able to translate those complex technical details into something everyone understands is key.
It's like you're building a bridge between the tech world and the real world.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, it's about protecting the business, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be able to connect those cybersecurity measures to the bigger picture, the bottom line.
Right. It's not enough to just say, hey, we need this fancy new security system because hackers are going to hack us.
You have to explain W-wide why it matters, what the risks are, and how it all ties back to the company's goals.
It's like, this isn't just about tech, folks. It's about protecting what we've worked so hard to build.
Exactly. And people can be unpredictable. So being able to navigate those dynamics, build relationships, understand different perspectives, those are invaluable skills.
And it's not just about managing upwards either. It's about working effectively with your team, with other departments.
Zinga really emphasized being flexible, a team player, constantly looking for ways to add value.
And in a field that's evolving as quickly as cybersecurity, that's huge. You got to be adaptable, proactive, always learning and growing.
He kept coming back to that idea of continuous learning. It's not enough to just get those certifications, land that job, and then coast.
Right. You got to stay ahead of the curve, keep leveling up your skills.
Yeah, absolutely. This field is not for the faint of heart. But it's also incredibly exciting, always challenging you to think differently, to find new solutions.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of cybersecurity, we want to leave you with this. If you're serious about this path, start building those soft skills NOW.
It's the best investment you can make.
Think about it. Are you a good communicator? Can you explain complex things simply? Do you understand how business works? These are all things you can work on today.
And remember, Zynga's journey shows us that there's no single path to success in this field.
It's about being well-rounded, technically skilled, but also a strategic thinker, a communicator, a team player.
Someone who can connect the dots, see the big picture, and bring everyone along for the ride.
And on that note, listener, it's time for us to sign off. We hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of what it takes to not just survive, but thrive in the exciting world of cybersecurity. Until next time, happy diving.